This is ᴑᴏᴏ. Thank you so much for showing up to the event today. We're going to mingle and collect signatures until about 2:30, and then we're going to start with our speakers. So thank you so much for being here.
I think I'll interview people since I'm here.
Yeah, because I'll probably sit. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind being on the ground because I can be mobile.
Is my chat working? Hey, Anthony, are you coming?
This thing can be.
Are you gonna make it?
Just do like that. Cute.
Let's see how well my stream elements goes. You're sick? You got the COVIDito? Oh dang, sorry. Hope you get better soon. Hey everybody, it's Dez here. City Hall for the Ted Wheeler, Recall Ted Wheeler event, where they'll be doing some speeches and they're taking signatures to recall the current mayor and police commissioner of Portland, Oregon. Hey Blake. Hey Lori. And then we'll be doing a short march, like a 2-block march. Oh, thanks Gabe. Real. I almost called you Gabe, but I don't know if that's what you go by. Maybe since they'll be taking signatures at first, I think I'll like interview some people. What's up, Gary? Nice. Hey, Jessica. Oh, shit. It's been a while since I've streamed. It's been like a month since I've gone out and streamed in person. Crazy. I've just been doing like live tweeting. Hey, what's up, Maui Maui? That's what's up. I brought my little camera today. How's it going? I'm gonna go sign this thing. I know, I missed you guys too. Little popper. Hey Peggy. Hey, what's up, Dave Moon? Dave Moon TV.
Yo, if I got bad numbers, I would not be on your ass and stuff your ball in your face and stomp on it.
Oh, Richard, love him.
Richard, that is quite, I don't want to be on the wrong side of that. So.
AJ. Hey, Dana. Dana, are you out today?
Richard, I definitely know you are very anti-fascist.
Thanks so much.
We got a little line over here, so.
I like how my lawyers are pushing it out, not till...
What are you up to today, Dana?
August 5th.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, it was...
Well, they had to wait until this month to start getting signatures for some reason. I guess I'll ask. Interview somebody about it. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
Sure.
Okay. Are you okay being on film?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the official representative.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering a couple questions about why we had to wait until now to start getting signatures. Is there somebody?
Anita over there in the olive green tank top is a good person to ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Do you want to talk with me a little bit, Dustin? Okay, cool. Hey, Shizcap. Hey, Bradley. Oh, there she is. Hey, DJ Dialogue. Hi. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
No worries.
Okay. Do you mind being on camera?
No, not at all. Can I ask what?
I'm independent, and it goes to YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
Okay, cool. So you were part of the campaign to to get Ted Wheeler out of office, to get him recalled.
Yes.
And can I get your name, or I don't know if you want to put
my
that
name's
out there.
Anissa. I'm the campaign field director.
Oh, okay. Great. My name is Carissa. You can call me Dez too. I was just wondering, I had a couple questions about, so my first question is, why did we have to wait until now to start getting signatures?
So by law, unfortunately, we had to wait 6 months for Ted Wheeler to be a mayor after he won the last election.
Okay.
The last election, we had to wait 6 months before we were able to even submit a recall. Then after that, we had to get a chief petitioner to make sure that we filed the correct paperwork, and then we had to wait on the city to give us the go-ahead. So that's essentially how we ended up here today, and why we're petitioning today.
Okay. And when was the first day that you could start getting signatures? Today?
Yes.
Okay.
Today is our
Okay.
kickoff launch.
Cool. All right.
Anybody who's excited, anybody who wants to get involved immediately, you don't even have to find a floating petitioner such as myself. You can go online to totalrecallpdx.com. Our e-sheets and our circulator sheets are on there for folks to be able to print themselves. Circulator sheets are for if you have tons of family and friends that you would like to get their signatures personally, and e-sheets are for folks who want to just self-sign and mail it in to us.
Okay. So you can print out sheets and get signatures and then send it back in?
Yes.
Okay.
And all that information's on our website too.
Oh, great. Awesome. And can I ask you, what is like the main reasons why you want Ted to be recalled? Do you have like a list or like some bullet points?
There's a multitude of reasons, obviously. Yeah. I think the biggest reason is Ted Wheeler only won with 46% of the vote last mayoral election, so we can even just see from that most of Portland didn't even want him to be our current mayor. On top of that, he has failed us as a mayor, especially within this past year. Housing has been declining significantly for this past year. The moratorium has just been lifted, and folks are seeing...
That was last week, right?
Yes,
it was
last
lifted?
week.
Okay.
And folks are now being evicted at a higher rate with no resources and no local government support. These are things that Mayor Wheeler is accountable for. So in my eyes, personally, he is failing our city, and that is one of the reasons why I want this recall to happen. I think that's a common consensus amongst Portland, is that this mayor has failed them in some way. They've failed their community in some way, in every way really, and that's why we're here demanding a recall.
Okay. Have you gotten a lot of signatures today so far online, or has it mainly been in person?
It's been honestly all over the place. It's been super amazing. A lot of our volunteers have already just started printing off online themselves at home, getting their family, their friends involved, their communities, their neighborhoods. We today out here have been having a great turnout. We're just waiting for this event to kick off so we can have even more people show up. But it's been really good so far, and we've come out really strong, so Ted should be crying.
Do you think has he mentioned anything about the campaign to recall?
Yes and no. There was an article that came out in the Tribune where Ted alluded to that we weren't being very transparent. But other than that, I haven't heard anything. For any folks who feel like we're not transparent, you can see everything on Orestar. All of our information in terms of our finances are on there.
Orestar, is that ORESTAR?
Yes, Orestar.com. Okay. It's pretty much just a website to show folks like finances for like organizations and things like that. But so all of our information is on Orestar, as well as this is a grassroots PAC. This is just people from the city who are funding us, people from the community who are funding us, who are putting in the work to be able to get these signatures and to have them recalled.
Okay. And how many signatures do you need, or do we need to get them recalled?
Our goal is 90,000, but we really need above 65,000.
Okay. And are you pretty confident that you're going to get that? Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
me too.
I'm pretty confident.
So I don't want to stop you from getting signatures,
No
so I'll
worries.
just ask you a couple more questions if you don't mind. So what happens after he is recalled? What happens after that? Like, what's the next step?
So there, one of two things can happen. Wheeler can automatically resign right there, and then the city commissioners will take place and run the city while we prepare for another mayoral election. Or he can write a 250-word essay, which is my favorite part, about why he wants to remain mayor. And that essay will be attached to his photo and will go on a ballot, and the city of Portland will be able to vote either Ted Wheeler or no. And then once that has happened, then he'll be out for sure. And then that'll be another waiting period for the commissioners to come together and handle the city while we again start to create another mayoral election.
Okay, and how long after the recall does that happen? Like, is it right away or
35 days?
Okay, so it's within 35 days he has to do the 250 word thing. Okay, I think he'll do it. Like, he's pretty persistent.
Yeah, he's kind of arrogant.
So I have a feeling he will do it if and when he gets recalled. So anyway, do you have anything else to add to?
Well, I guess for anybody who watches this, if you haven't updated your voter registration, please update that in case he does decide to write his 250-word essay. We all just want to be prepared to be able to come out and vote him out completely once we've done all this hard work to recall him.
Okay. I just thought of a couple more things really quick. So one is, who would replace him, or who is like next in line to replace him? And two, what happens, like, does he remain a police commissioner if he gets recalled?
So if he gets recalled, I believe he cannot stay in local politics at all. He'd have to
Okay.
completely step down from both his positions. There is no, I can't tell you who is next in line because nobody knows at the moment. Once he is recalled, the current city commissioners come together to run the city, while the people of Portland get to put up the next mayoral candidates that they would like to vote on.
I like that idea. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for what you do. Can I actually sign?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
I have some hand sanitizer if you'd like it.
Sure.
It smells like vanilla.
Ooh, nice.
There you go.
You have voter roll purges. What are voter roll purges? I think I know about that.
Pardon me?
Do you know what voter roll purges are?
I'm not entirely sure. I'm sorry.
Okay, somebody just asked about it, and I have no idea what that is. Oops.
Oh, that's totally okay.
Do I have to put my real name?
What's on your voter registration? So,
Okay.
if that is yes.
Oh, and I have to. All right. Well, while I wait. Hey, what's up, Dustin? Good. How are you? Pretty good. Just chilling. And this is my first day back live streaming in like a month. So I've had a little break. Hey, Hiram.
Hopefully there's no drama.
Yeah, I don't think there will be. I don't foresee any drama. It'd be so funny if Ted Wheeler showed up. Like, was protesting.
I would love for him to put a line of riot cops out there.
Oh my
Just
god,
to,
could you
like, show-
imagine?
just to try and show his balls.
Yeah, that would be hilarious,
That would be
actually.
pretty epic.
I mean, it'd be annoying, but it would be.
It would be very Ted Wheeler-esque of him.
It would. It
It would be
would.
right on point.
I mean, we already know what his true colors are.
Is he here though, or is he on a date?
What's that?
Is he here, or is he on a date though?
He's probably on a date. I mean, it is Friday night, and he has his new bangs. Do you see those? So, do you mind if I interview you? Do you want to chat, or are you feeling up to it? What's that? You don't mind? Okay, cool.
Oh my god, I have friends like that.
Maybe like in front of City Hall right here would be cool.
What would you like to ask me? First of all, fuck Ted Wheeler. In case you
Of
want.
course, always. This is Dustin. I'm sure y'all have seen Dustin out. He's been on the front lines like almost every day that I've been out. He's an activist, and he also dislikes Ted Wheeler. So what brought you out today? I already know, but
Why are we here? I mean, at the forefront of it, Ted Wheeler failed our city so terribly. From the feds showing up to even that first month before the feds got here, Ted Wheeler was in control of Portland police, fucking us up from day one. Like, that was all Ted. That was all Ted. And then everything that happened afterwards, it was like, he came out for that one night, he got gassed, he did his promo, he got his pictures, and then he went back inside to let them do what they did. And then even just as recently, like, you know, this heat wave was something else, right? But what we should have learned from the heat wave is what we should have learned from that dust storm last year. We should have had mutual aid on lock. And, like, we should have known that from that storm last season, anything that comes forward, we should be fucking ready. And for Ted Wheeler to literally...
You should have learned, right?
We should have not even just learned. We should have this in place for anything. Like, global warming is showing us that our system is failing at an incredibly high rate. And that at any time, from a building failing to an apartment building failing to 115-degree weather to losing over 70 people within our city limits. We're not even talking about people just on the street. These are people in apartment complexes that they probably had access to 911, but I bet you that because of their zip code, that 911 call was a 6-hour, 7-hour, 8-hour wait because of where they reside. Because they probably are black, brown, or indigenous, or impoverished, or disabled. Like, you know, happy disability month. Fuck you, Ted Wheeler. Pulling police beat the shit out of the disabled community the entire summer, and it's still just as bad now. Like, I'm going in for surgery on Tuesday for my shit, and it's just a step in the right direction. You know, I'm hoping the DA picks up at least 2 of my cases. Just charge 2 of these. I mean, it would be several police officers that get indicted in the process, but you know, I'm hoping my shit gets picked up, and along with other people,
Right.
it would make a significant impact just because they really did beat the shit out of us all summer. So,
Yeah, they did. So we want to recall Ted Wheeler because he is police commissioner, and obviously he's failed us there.
We're recalling Ted because he's a fucking failure. Ted is only accountable to the people that pay his pocket or know his cell phone number or live in his apartment complex. Some people Ted gives a fuck about. I mean, it's as obvious as people he lets die in Hawthorne Park or downtown or in Chinatown or right outside of my fucking own apartment. It's clear as day. And I think we're at a time in our lives where we're realizing that whether you're on the left or the right, they're all failing. It's fucking miserable. And I think this is an opportunity. And I don't think Ted's going to realize it, but I think Ted is going to realize when this is all said and done that he's failed everyone in the city. He's failed the rich, he's failed the poor, he's failed the people that even voted him right back into office. So, Ted, bon voyage, you're done.
Thank you, Dustin.
Thanks for letting me jump in on that.
What's that?
Thanks for letting me jump in
Oh
on
yeah,
that.
of course. Let's see if I can interview somebody else out.
I've gotten good at it from like swooping into local news interviews.
Same.
I'll get
same.
right there.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, if I hear, you know, a good interview happening, I'm gonna swoop in.
All right, they said we're going to be getting started any moment.
It's getting kind of hot out here.
We were running a little bit
Do you have a couple minutes?
Sure.
Do you mind being on camera?
No, not at all.
Okay.
That's why you saw me there the other day.
I'm Dez, by the way.
Hi, nice to meet you, Dez. I'm Mark.
Mark, nice to meet you. Do you live here in Portland?
Yes, I do. I live in Southwest Portland.
Southwest, all right. What brings you out here today?
I have always been interested in the protests in Portland. Just because every time I see any of this stuff on the news, it's like imagining if it were me in those shoes all over again. And I think most of us can't really watch what happens on the news and not stand to come out here and try and make our voices heard and everything. And I think it's just super important that each of us as community members get engaged in making our community beautiful and the opposite of all of the stuff that we're seeing out here going on. And personally, I'm starting a website and stuff about this, so I'm trying to get people aware about the events that are going on and all that kind of thing. And
What is your website? Do you have a...
It's joinshapingprogress.org. And it'll
joinshapingprogress.org. All right.
It'll be finishing the next week and stuff.
Nice. All right. Well, everybody check that out when it's up. And a podcast, too.
Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be the Shaping Progress show. So,
Very cool. And you can probably find that information on the website.
Yep, yeah.
Okay. So are you in support of recalling Ted Wheeler?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I worked at the Revolution Rising and put out a statement with their statement. You should check that out. It's a lot of community members and organizations that are totally in support of recalling Ted, and finally I'm happy we're gonna get the chance and stuff. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Today's the first day we could take signatures.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank God.
So, what is your reason for wanting to recall Ted Wheeler?
So, I mean, Ted Wheeler has done a lot of things since he's been in office. He's had a lot of policies.
Hello,
made a lot of
everybody.
actions, that I think
hello. Let me see
pretty,
your hands. Make sure that everyone's paying attention.
They show what's
Hands
going
up.
on in the right wing of this country,
Excellent.
it's
Wonderful.
a fascist takeover. So I think
This
he's
is
definitely a
awesome.
major
So
part
to
of
start
that.
off, my
He's a
name is
component in
Philip
that.
J. Wolf
Yeah.
from Portland, Oregon. I've
Lots
run
of
for
different
city
policies,
council twice. I am here
From what he's
now
doing
in
with the,
support of the total recall of Ted Wheeler.
all of the city infrastructure stuff to all of our education.
Thank you. Yes, applause for that.
Police,
For sure. We
obviously,
have
is
some
the commissioner,
speakers
so
today that
Right.
are lined
been
up,
out at a lot of
and then
those
I will
protests
close this
too,
out
and
with a
felt
short
the
march and message.
ramifications and
So
state
we're
of
going
that,
to
so,
start off
yeah,
with
Ted
Donovan.
Wheeler.
Yeah, what is the biggest thing for you? Like, what do you
definitely
dislike most about Ted Wheeler?
Definitely the police, because if we had a police system that was actually reflective of the values of the people out here, or reflective of the things that we should care about as a community versus what they're doing, I think it would start a lot from the ground up.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Looks
How's
like
it
they're
going,
starting
y'all?
here. Yeah.
My name is Donovan, and I was planning on writing something, but I'm just gonna go today. I've spent part of my morning with my friend Laquita, and what's up? And over to the left, my left. And back in 2016, 2015, I want to say, we did a bike ride from the Villa, New Columbia neighborhood down to where Vanport used to be. And it was called the Gentrification is Weird bike ride. It was the first one we did. And that was a year when that platform that had all started as a t-shirt that I put out began taking root as a way to talk about our past, present, and future here in the city. And part of that was because Laquita had called me up when I didn't even really know her at the time and said, I want to do this bike ride and I want to, lift up our history. I want to tell these stories and I want to call it Gentrification is Weird because of the shirt you put out. And so we linked up and we started planning this thing. And as the time was starting to come, lo and behold, it was election season for the Portland mayor. And so at that same time, I had done a Gentrification is Weird exhibit. And the day after opening day, I had been walking by the exhibit. I was babysitting over there, and I ran into somebody who I knew, and they were shooting a spot for Ted at the time. And they said they wanted me to grab one of the Gentrification is Weird t-shirts because they wanted to rep it in the spot. So I went ahead and I grabbed the t-shirt for him and handed it to him. And then Ted came up to me. Don't worry, you're not at the wrong event. I'm getting to the point. But he, instead of taking the t-shirt and wearing it himself, he gave it to Ted and said, I want you to wear this so you don't forget about East County. Fast forward, he wears this t-shirt at a mayoral thing, and people are like, oh my God, he's wearing a t-shirt, some people are mad at me, some people are mad at him. The internet streets were going crazy, at least in a pocket of Portland. And what me and Laquita decided to do was to invite him because what happened is he ended up winning shortly thereafter and becoming the mayor. And so I feel partially responsible for why he has become mayor. That's a joke. And so, yeah, we invited him to the bike ride, and the goal was to have him in the middle of the villa and talk about what he was gonna do for Black folks. And there had never been, at least in my understanding, any long form breakdown of what his plan was for us in his lead up to election. We sat down in the middle of the villa for an hour discussing what those plans were gonna be. Those things still exist on the internet. You can go and check it out and you can see where it matches up, but you really don't need to reference that to see where we've landed. 4 years later, 5 years later, at this point. And so everything that we've seen from, you know, the donation to his campaign for $150,000 while espousing equity this and equity that, from tear gassing people, poisoning our folks, literally poisoning our folks while espousing these equity, this and that, this and that. These things don't match up against the words that have been said. The craziest thing that I voted for Teresa in the primaries, and as she was, running that campaign, or after the campaign had come to an end and the write-in campaign had bubbled up, I got a call from Arya, my friend Arya, and she wanted me to edit this paper about what tear gas is and isn't. And I was like, sure, I can do that. Now, what was supposed to be an editing job turned into me having to write a whole section. And I am calling you out, Arya. I've done it several times on public platforms, but I got so much love for you. But with that being said, as we were doing the research, me and the team at Don't Shoot and Rooted Black, as we were going and figuring out what this stuff was, it was poison. Like, what we have been led to believe about what tear gas is, or at least how my understanding was, it's just the stuff that makes you tear up and then you go. But I didn't know that it was banned by the Geneva Convention. I didn't know that this was literally something that could cause somebody to lose their child. And it was being dispersed across the city. When we, on the front end, talk about environmental justice, we talk about these things, when this not only is poisoning the people, it's poisoning the city, it's poisoning the land, it's poisoning what we're supposed to be at root. And so the fact that we were working on this paper, published this paper talking about what these impacts could be, when Don't Shoot had already launched a lawsuit and gotten a temporary ban on tear gas, and it took 100 days for this ban to enact, not only 100 days, but 100 days and a forest fire for him to enact a ban. This is the person that's supposed to be at the helm of our city, using talking points that sound like they're straight from Fox News, talking about Antifa, let's make them hurt, using statements that Black community members have put out and using it as leverage for to use us as cover for his own agenda. This is something that we've seen for slowly actually progress more and more and more into Ted's leadership of this city. So I'm not here, I'm not gonna spend my time dunking on Ted. These are just the facts of the matter. And so, I think I heard somebody clap, that's fine. Anyways, I think the recall is a worthy effort. It's something that we need to be putting our effort into reaching the people who've been most affected by Ted's policies, most affected by his rhetoric, and also we need to reach throughout the city to make people understand that from every camp that you see, from every statistic that you hear about mass evictions that are happening throughout this city, knowing that it's going to be a lot of Black folks, knowing that it's going to be our poorest folks, to knowing that our environment is still getting poisoned in the midst of rhetoric that we're doing great in this city. Whatever the case may be, we have somebody at the helm for 4+ years and for all intents and purposes lost an election. This is the reason why. And so if you want to see a better city, if you want to see something, if you want to see a better city, put your name on that petition, total recall. And my name is Donovan Smith. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much, Donovan Smith, for sharing that message with us. One more round of applause for that, please. Yes. Okay. Our next speaker is going to be Danny Cage. So, Danny.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Danny Cage. I'm a member of the Total Recall campaign, but most importantly, I'm a Portlander, and I care about the condition of my city. You might have seen on the front page of a news cover outlet saying the Recall Ted Wheeler campaign was soaked in mystery. So I will take a second to introduce myself and my mysterious self. I am a Portland Public School student and a member of the Portland Public School Student District Council, representing Grant High School. I joined the campaign because I believe in accountability. I believe in healing. During Wheeler's strained administration, I saw Portlanders suffer by his lack of leadership. But I saw fellow PPS peers suffer. We saw households unsafe from tear gas. We heard cries and pleas from parents begging our mayor not to bring harm into their homes. The tear gas was not safe for them to breathe, but most importantly, the tear gas was not safe for children to breathe. So in a way, I thank Ted Wheeler. Because his administration has been so harmful, it has warranted a 16-year-old like myself to be involved to remove him from office. But this shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. His administration has heard people across the aisle, across different backgrounds, across different races, across different sexualities, across different Portlanders from all ends of the spectrum. It is going to take Portlanders from all sides of the aisle to remove him. I mean, hey, our chief petitioner is a librarian in PPS, and I'm a PPS student. So I guess Portland Public School students and teachers agree it's not shady to school the mayor. I want to make it clear that this recall campaign is not necessarily an anti-Ted Wheeler campaign. This recall campaign is a pro-accountability campaign. The removal of Wheeler will give Portland a chance to get everything that we have asked and begged for: police reform, climate justice, and leaders who will listen to us. The removal of Ted Wheeler will set a mark on Portland politics for years to come. Politicians who abuse power and harm us without the consequences will no longer be allowed to stay in office for 4 years. It will send a clear message to City Council, Portlanders, and our government: do your job or we will do it for you. Work with us or we will go around you and remove you. The recall campaign will have long-lasting impacts to anyone thinking about running for office and trying to trick and lie and deceive Portlanders. I will be honest, the last mayoral race was messy and complicated. This year it's different. There is no candidate for Wheeler to hide behind. There is no person for him to pin himself up against. This recall campaign is the mayor versus the people. The people versus a Tim Barron who has proven time and time again that his incompetence will harm us. If there is one thing that we've learned over the summer's nightly protest, is that you cannot beat people power and you cannot beat the power of the community coming together. Thank you.
Please help me give another thunderous round of applause for Danny Cage, please. That was amazing. 16 years old, how powerful. Okay, so our next speaker is going to be Jedi, please. So Jedi.
What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling out there? I want to give a quick shout out to Philip for spearheading and quarterbacking this whole thing out here today. We appreciate you. And shout out to everybody that came out to support this effort. Yeah, my name's Jedi. I am an activist and a hip hop artist here in the city, and visual artist. I also help organize for the Justice for Patrick Kimmons March that happens once or twice a week. Yeah, shout out to Letha. And yeah, I'm really excited about this effort because I hate Ted Wheeler. Fuck Ted Wheeler. Fuck Ted Wheeler. He has got to go. Like, this recall effort is so vital to so many communities in this city. Watching Ted Wheeler operate the last 4 years has just been gut-wrenching. Watching him get absolutely nothing accomplished, at least for people who are really impacted by the policies that he institutes. And for people that are not really privy to like who Ted Wheeler really is, I want y'all to know, like, this man comes from wealth. He's a 6th generation Oregonian who literally comes from money, who comes from privilege, who comes from wealth, who swims in white supremacy. Okay, his family comes from a long line of timber workers. So his dad was a Fortune 500 lumber company owner. So he has roots in the timber industry. Like, he doesn't know anything about land back. All they know is land take, land destroy, land pillage. Ted Wheeler does not know how to really empathize or like understand the people. He does not relate to the average person's struggle. He can't relate to black people. He cannot relate to women or femmes or the queer community whatsoever. So all of his decision making is not going to be helping us out because he doesn't understand how to actually make it happen. And anything he tries to do is a whole lot of empty promises. You know, one thing I want to point out is, actually, I'm going to read something to y'all from his 2015 mayoral campaign speech. So this man said, "I'm taking care of those in need, taking responsibility for protecting our environment, taking action right now to close the gap between wealthiest and our poorest residents by providing economic opportunity for lower income and middle income families. Understanding that every dollar we spend came from a taxpayer, and we need to show our respect for how hard that taxpayer worked to earn those dollars by spending them wisely. These are the authentic values of Portland. These are my values." Did that sound like a whole lot of bullshit to y'all? Does that sound like a whole lot of empty promises? This is who Ted Wheeler is. This man is like allergic to making the right decision. He's allergic to actually making decisions that are gonna help our communities. Last year in July, when the feds were in town, I had a friend actually approach Ted Wheeler with a camera in his face, and he asked him a question. Y'all remember that photo op Ted Wheeler came for? Raise your hand if you were at the, actually, no, never mind. No, OPSEC. Nobody was there. So he asked Ted Wheeler to his face, and this is on film. He says, "Ted Wheeler, the city wants to know, what do you think about qualified immunity? What are you gonna do about qualified immunity?" Ted Wheeler says, "I am opposed to qualified immunity." Fuck Ted Wheeler! Amen to that. I guess not all trucks are chud trucks. Shout out to the dude. Actually, chuds don't even like Ted Wheeler, so like, who knows? But Ted Wheeler said, "I am 100% committed to getting rid of qualified immunity." 1 year ago. Have any of y'all heard Ted Wheeler say the words qualified immunity a single time since last year? Nope. This is who he is. He says he's gonna do a whole bunch of this, kind of like what Donovan was saying earlier. He'll say a bunch of this, and then he does a bunch of that. What is the one demand that this community has been constantly harping on since the George Floyd rebellion? Part of it, yeah, technically, it's to defund the police. Has he defunded the police? No, in fact, he's tried to refund the police. He's not listening. He cannot relate to the average person. He's not really for black lives. He's not for reparations. He's not for land back. He swims in neoliberal capitalism and white supremacy. It proliferates the good protester, bad protester narrative. When we had over 70 people just die in the city because of a heat wave, where were you? He was nowhere to be found. And he has blood on his hands like crazy. This man cannot make the right decisions. We've seen it for the last 4 to 5 years. And so Ted Wheeler needs to be recalled. He has to go. Because at this point, if he's just gonna make decisions like this, we just don't even need a mayor. We can just have no mayor. So this recall effort means so much to so many people. I just want y'all to really understand, like, recalling Ted Wheeler is harm reduction. Recalling Ted Wheeler is community defense at this point. Recalling Ted Wheeler is mutual aid. So if you care about each other, you care about the most vulnerable communities, and you think that the most vulnerable communities should be leading this city, recall this neoliberal, capitalist, fascist, white supremacist man, and get him out of that office. Fuck Ted Wheeler. Fuck Ted Wheeler. Fuck Ted Wheeler. Fuck Ted Wheeler. Are y'all ready to recall Ted Wheeler? Keep spreading the word. Keep spreading the word. Do what you can to get these signatures, because we have 90 days to get 60,000. That's the goal. And we need to do this for our community, y'all. Thank you. I'm Jedi. I appreciate all y'all being here. Once again, shout out to Philip.
Thank you so much, Jedi. One more round of applause for that. Yes, so powerful. Okay, our next speaker, I would like to ask Amber, Spirited Justice, to come up and speak. Getting things ready. All right. Thank you. So Amber.
My thumbprint doesn't match. I'm going live with my actual phone, and I'm using somebody else's phone for my speech. I wrote my speech down so I didn't go 20 minutes. I normally go a really long time when I talk because I'm passionate and I don't ever write anything down, and it just comes from my heart. And so thank you, Dom, right now for letting me use your phone. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Philip. My name is Amber with Spirited Justice, and this is a public calling in. A public calling in for first-generation family colonizer on this part of Turtle Island, $1 million plus annually, unearned generational wealth off the raping and pillaging of sacred trees and timber. Quote, "It's never been about the money in my family," tuned to $83 million. Supporter and endorser of white predator Sam Adams, who lied about a sexual relationship with a teenager he met while underage, and white terror leader and mayor of Portland, who stated definitively, "I am intensely motivated by the desire to go to bed at night and recognize that I made a difference in the world today. Politics gives you the opportunities to do that." Dez Wheeler. Dez Wheeler. Dez, this is a public calling in from one light-skinned Black Portlander who has experienced, like many others, an onslaught of created, curated, and condoned public and institutionalized experience of misogyny, misogynoir, gaslighting, anti-Blackness, white supremacy, weaponizing the falsehood of white supremacy, racism, and open fascism. We collectively refute your ideology of sustained enslavement. Your sanctioned use of chemical weapons in the form of tear gas augments anyone who has an uterus or menstruates, and having pain, irregularity, and or frequent moon cycles, induces early labor, thus creating chemical abortions The list of adverse impacts is extensive and goes on. To be somebody who advocates for this kind of immediate and epigenetic trauma is clearly a person who has forgotten their humanity. To allow and support your Klan and Proud Boy police officers to wear anti-Black, white terror clothing while on the job is a nod to your fascist values and lack of integrity. We see your joy in the genocide game, and you hide from no one, Tevis. Tevis, your consent and consistent performative behavior is on brand for whites, and thus truly reprehensible. I can imagine it's also embarrassing to the active anti-racist white community that, like us, Black, brown, and indigenous people, have to share space with you. Your father, Tevis, your father, who you say you had a deep sense of respect for, that he picked himself up and sought help, should be a shining and bright, narrow light for you to follow his lead. Get help, Tevis. Get help for your overt fascism and joy in flaunting your privilege. Get help, Tevis. Get help. Get help with the mic. There we go. Get help for your lack of respect for people who menstruate, carry life, for femmes, for women. Get help, Tevis. Get help for your deep and entrenched comfort, generationally gentrifying and colonizing these lands while engaging in narcissistic behavior with practiced cognitive dissonance. Get help, Tevis, the abolition way, from and with the people, trained professionals, therapists, healers, land protectors, musicians. Find your way back to humanity, Tevis. Get help, Tevis. Get help. Help us. Get help and help us by stepping back, by stepping down. You could be a change maker, Tevis. You could be a white chain breaker, Tevis. You could die proud of yourself for what you've done. You could join the League of Abolition. We're abolitionists. Right. And as abolitionists, we believe in the credible power and imagination of the people. As abolitionists, we believe so much in the incredible power of the people that there need not be systems of policing or even police. And Tevis, I personally demand reparations. Reparations on a public and institutionalized level created for and by the systemically oppressed. Recall and deplatform yourself for your ultimate growth and healing, Tevis. Reparations, land back, all power to the people, all power to the matriarchy, Black and brown indigenous sovereignty. Thank you.
Thank you again, Amber. All right, I'm going to add one more speaker, but they are last but certainly not the least. They are incredibly powerful and a good closer, I believe, but they were so willing to be here. Please welcome Demetria.
Hi, I'm Demetria Hester, and we're for Black Lives. Always 365, 24 what? I didn't hear you. Black Lives? 365, 24 what? It seems like a lot of people have forgot that. Are we not here for our lives? 365, 24/7. Who's dropped the ball here? Why are we still getting killed? Why still houselessness? Why still capitalism? Why is this colonialism still happening if you want change? Why is Ted Wheeler mayor if you want change? Why is he mayor still? He's the police commissioner. I must acknowledge we're on stolen land. Made by stolen African people and indigenous people. Why is he mayor if this is wrong? What is your duty? What is your duty? Is he supposed to be mayor? Why didn't you make it happen? That's your duty. Everything you've heard up here, he's done in 4 years. His family has done this, but yet he's still mayor. Who's dropping the ball? Who's dropped the ball here? The white state. It isn't the black people. It's the white people. Why is he still mayor, white people? You said that you cared about us 365, 24/7. Why is he still mayor? Where is your action? Where is your action? When it was time to recall him, are you going to use your voice? This is your last chance. You've had 3 chances to use your voice and your platform, white people, to change, to have a heart, to care. You see that Ted Wheeler does not have a heart. Colonialism doesn't have a heart. They thrive off of us and greed and money, and you are giving it to them. It's not us, it's you. What are you doing? Where is your actions? All year long, what did you see? Everything everybody got up here and told you, and we still have him mayor. How is that possible? Because you are not doing your job. We've been tear gassed, beaten, killed in the streets. And you're still saying you care. How do you care? He's still mayor on stolen land from stolen people. And y'all still have him mayor. We didn't vote him in. We want change. We want to control our words. Don't you want that? It's time for you to shut up and do something. You talk a good game. That we've told you this is why we don't trust white people. All you do is talk. It's performative. You asked us to trust you in our movement. And what did you do? Take advantage. Try to co-opt it. Uphold misogyny. action in our movement. That's what you've done. That's what we see. And you wonder why we do not trust you. This is why. Every time we give you a chance to prove that you can feel, that you have a heart, that you actually care, that you don't have to get anything back, you failed once again. But yet, you stand and march at marches. You stand at vigils, but you do not use your voice to change. Thank you. To change. You don't use your voice for change. You use it for your benefit. Isn't that what we're fighting? Isn't that what we're against? Misogyny? Everything you heard Ted Wheeler isn't that what we are fighting? So why in the hell are you doing it in our movement? This is not your movement. Are you indigenous? Are you black? I don't care how long you've been out in the streets. It is not your movement. Y'all sit up here and co-opt every fucking thing we do. And you're still doing it. And it's disgusting. And then you sit up in our faces and say, we support you. Bullshit. You support what you want to support. We matter 365, 24/7. Every day we get up, we fucking matter. No one needs your fucking approval. We don't want to hear what you got to say. Shut the fuck up, sit down, and do some action work. Action work. You know what that is? Actually doing some fucking work. Not on Twitter. Not on Instagram. Work. Have you cashed out somebody black today? Reparations. Have you cashed out somebody black today? It's not too late. That part. Speak, sister. What is your cash app? Louder. Amber, what's your cash app? Let's go, white people. Get out your fucking phones right now. You haven't paid reparations. Cash app somebody black. We'll wait. How many white people are doing it? This is your fucking problem. You say you care, but your phone's not out, you're not willing to give reparations, and that's what we're fucking talking about. How you gonna ask the fucking mayor and you can't even do it? How you gonna say, I want the mayor to be recalled, and you can't even fucking do it? This is the hypocrisy that we're fucking talking about in our movement. You say you care? But when you're told to do something by a black woman, all deaf ears aren't deaf. But that's what we've been saying all summer long. Listen to black women. Listen to black women. But y'all don't. You don't. You listen to black men who are misogynistic. And you support them fully. And you think it's okay because they're supposed to be for the movement. But they're not. Do your research. That's called action work. Knowing who that you're supporting. Knowing who you are is action work. Get to know yourself. Do you really have a heart? Do you really care? Or is it just for your benefit? And another Black Lives Matter check off for you. Right person. let's go. Something to brag to your friends about, something to talk about, but you have no action work. That's the fucking problem. That's why he's mayor. Because this is what it is, communism. You want to keep it going so you can stay rich and we can stay poor. So you can feel like you're better than us because you have more than us, but you don't. We know our worth, and it's not in money. Y'all worth is in money, power, how much you got, being materialistic. The communism just keep going on because that's what you want. But we're here to tell you, we're not having it. We are the revolution. We are the revolution. We are the revolution. With or without you white people. We are the revolution. We do not need your acceptance, white people. We are the revolution. We have to work together to shut down this communist system. We have to wake up to the fact that you're complicit when you're hesitant. You're complicit when you're silent. When you sit here and say, I want to shout and march for Black lives, but when it comes down to protecting, defending, showing, and actions, where are you? This man is in office because of you not using your voice. You know what he's done to us. Killed us, tear gassed us, taking money, continuing to make money off your back and our back too. When are you gonna wake up and get his hand out of your pocket? His hand's not just in our pockets, in your pockets too. He's taking money from you. When are you gonna wake up and see that this communism needs to be shut down? What have you seen all summer long? What have you seen in 400 plus years? This white power knows that it's about to be crushed. All over the world, there's a revolution. Are you going to be part of it or not? We're here for a revolution. You're either the oppressed or the oppressor. Choose your side, because we are crashing and burning down this table and making one for us. What are you going to do? It's time for actions, not words. You are in a movement that's a marathon. A marathon. That means you pass the baton. That means you keep going. That means you do not stop. We are here for a purpose. Find your purpose. You're the oppressed or the oppressor. Find your purpose. Get this communist out of office along with Kate Brown and the rest of the minions. City Council have been minions. And y'all think because Joanne Hardesty is black, oh, she's for black people. Wake up.
Fuck Joanne!
Fuck Joanne Hardesty and her homeboy, Ted Wheeler. We're letting you know and we're calling you out and calling you in to resign because it's finna get ugly. Very ugly. Everything you've done is finna come out. So, buckle up, because we ready, because we're going to burn this system down and we're going to make a system for us because we're on stolen land made by stolen people and we're going to get our reparations and we are going to take what we know we deserve. Black Lives Matter, 365, 24/7, actions, not words.
Yes, one more round of applause for Demetria, please. Now I want to go ahead and wrap up. We're going to do a small march around City Hall, so please join us and get loud. Before we do that, I do want to just share a brief message. The Total Recall Ted Wheeler campaign is a crucial piece of history because it is the first time in history that we will successfully recall a mayor. The first time in history, 140 years of established city council has been running. That has never happened before. So this is an exciting moment where we can really make the change that we're talking about. We know that Ted Wheeler is a white supremacist. He is a fucking white supremacist. And I can see the difference between he and I. I know that I am a white person, but I strive to be anti-racist, and he absolutely does not. We know that white people are able to use our power to do something, and we should be using it to call out and fight for actual change by removing Ted Wheeler. And so being part of this campaign and removing him from office is one opportunity for us to do that. Demetria's message is so powerful and was correct. We, white people, consistently cheer for the movement, but we don't internalize it for actual, tangible change. I am a white person, I've seen it in my life, and I've seen it in many other people as well, throughout many Black Lives Matter protests and movements, and other movements over the last 4 years. I've learned a lot, and Demetria's words still ring so true. Even now, as we're speaking about this, we see cars and bikes riding by that maybe hear our message, that see there's a protest, but aren't even curious about what it may be. That is in itself white privilege. It is time to wake those people up. It is time for those people to own up, to actually start making a change, period. This cannot continue any longer. We're sick of it, I'm tired of it. We're tired of Ted Wheeler's complacency and complicity in white supremacist system, using his privilege for himself. We know that he has participated in illegal campaign behaviors. He has, I mean, the list goes on. We've been listing it all day. It stops here. The recall starts now. So please get people to join in, to collect signatures, spread the word, let people know what's going on. This is an important thing that affects a lot of people. We need to be collecting at least 60,000 signatures in 90 days. That will help us fight and make this happen. We can start now, okay? I want to thank all of our speakers for using their voice and their message, sharing today, using of their time to be here. One more round of applause for every speaker today, please. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to everyone. Also to Hallow Space for streaming today. Thank you very much for doing that as well. The signature team that's here, that's been working, collecting signatures from passerbys in the crowd, thank you for all you've been doing all day today as well, of course. And finally, but not leastly, thank all of you for participating in today's piece of the movement. I really, truly believe that this is it. I've run for city council twice before. I obviously did not get the position yet, but Ted is still holding power. He's on his second term, and enough is enough. Now, using this campaign, we have an opportunity to make radical change moving forward. And, you know, I want to remind Ted Wheeler that this is not his office. This is not his building. This is ours, and he's got to go. His ex-wife kicked him out of the house. We're about to do the same thing. We got to kick him out of our house as well. Yeah, make no mistake about it. We will succeed. So, are you ready to join in a march? Let me see that energy. Yes. All right. Excellent. Go ahead and follow me to line up.
So you want to?
Yeah, I can help you.
I'll just let you know briefly where we're going to be walking. So I just want to do 2 blocks around City Hall. So we're just going to make a small square around the building and end up right back here. We're going to keep it basic. We just want to be loudly going around. We're going to be collecting signatures, but loudly expressing how we feel about Ted Wheeler. So let's do it.
Would you mind if I asked you a couple questions on camera?
Yes.
Okay, before everybody starts marching. I'm gonna interview him really quick. You don't mind being on camera?
No.
Okay, cool. I'm Dez, by the way, and I stream on multiple platforms, but I'm independent. What is your name?
Danny.
Danny? Nice to meet you. How old are you? Wait,
I'm 16.
and you were speaking just now?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been a part of the Recall Ted Wheeler campaign?
Started I think around April. I low maintenance volunteered towards the beginning when I found out around January, I would say.
Okay. Sorry, in which ways have you been helping, like volunteering your time?
Mostly I do a couple of more creative campaign projects that I've done, along with doing more of a youth task force, postering with more just young people and kind of giving them a way to get involved in the campaign. And also I'm going to start, now that we've started the petitions, we can get teenagers to start getting their families, and also when they encounter around their neighborhood.
Because you have to be of voting age to petition, right? But they can still help out.
Still collect them. And that is a great way to get young people who have just as much power against Ted Wheeler as anyone else to get involved, and also it is amazing to get young people involved.
Definitely. Which high school do you go to, if you don't mind me asking?
I go to Grant High School.
Grant High School, okay. And have you kind of recruited some of your friends from Grant High School to help out?
A lot of people from Grant have hit me up on Instagram, and people from multiple other schools will find my Instagram and hit me up of how do I get started or how do I get involved.
Right, and what is their main reason for getting involved? Like, have they been affected? Do they realize how they've been affected by Ted Wheeler being in office?
A lot of, especially among our generation, the upcoming obstacle is going to be climate change, and a lot of them have seen Ted Wheeler's incompetence in climate policy, and I would say an overall neoliberal wash of, he's called himself a green mayor, and yet we haven't made strides into climate policy.
It's all talk, not walk.
It's a lot of talk, and a lot of talk is something that we've heard from politicians over and over. And I think you come to a certain point where no matter how old you are, we're done with that.
Yeah. So have you been involved in other volunteer projects or organizations in the past?
Yes. I am currently, besides Recall, I sit on the district. I'm going to be coming to the district student council starting this year when school begins, and I'll be representing the needs of Grant High School and bringing up the needs to the school board and PPS.
That's so cool.
I'm a member. I'm now the chair member of the youth council for the Portland NAACP chapter. I'm also a member
That's
of
impressive. So that's really cool. When I was your age, I was not involved in politics or anything like that. So it's very impressive to me. How did you get started? Like, what motivated you to get involved? Was it somebody in your family, or was it just like you seeing things and not being happy with what you were seeing? Or
the summer protests were something that happened, and I already was getting involved at low maintenance, but after seeing not just all like thousands of people in the streets, but seeing young people direct those protests and seeing young people give their speeches and create whole organizations and nonprofits at like 16, 17, I saw that and I wanted to replicate the same way of activism, but I wanted to move it more towards politics, because I feel that politics are something that's, you know, only old people can participate in, and
yeah,
you know,
so not true. Yeah,
anyone of any age can fly.
Definitely. So so you had mentioned like environmental issues. What is the main reason for your want to I'm not wording this right. Why do you want to recall Ted Wheeler? Like, what is the main reason to you that like sticks out?
Well, one of the main reasons is just action. There was a large, do you remember the large protest of students walking out of school for the climate strike? That was very important to us, and what happened was Wheeler and a couple of other city council members came out, took photos and left, and that was very disheartening for a lot of young people, because it was very quick and it happened within 10 minutes of coming out, taking photos, and then it was posted up on K2 News.
Performative activism is what you're speaking of. Okay, thanks. Sorry.
And then he left 10 minutes later, and then a lot of the youth went to testify, and he has said things, there's nothing that we can be done, we're doing the best that we can. Oh, we're gonna cut it off at 2050, we'll get it there at 2050. And you know, that's great to say so, but if we don't make steps to cut carbon emissions till 2050, it's gonna be, you know, 2070, 2080.
Right.
And it's gonna get to a point where we fail, and we won't have clean water. We won't have
if we fail, then we're not going to be able to live here anymore. So that's something that's very important. Well, thank you so much for your time. I don't want to stop you from joining the march. Again, I was Dez, and what was your name one more time? Danny. Okay, Danny, thank you so much for your time. It was great chatting with you. All right, have a good day. Thanks. Hey, everybody. Thank you for sticking around and listening to everything. I'm actually not joining the march today. I gotta get home and pay for parking and eat something, but what else did you guys see for us? All of us would be in jail for what? Exactly? Just wanted to catch this stuff. Everything in the city. I forget who this artist is, but I follow them on Twitter. It's like Protest Duck or something. But they also they make comics or an art for Village Portland, or I know Village Portland has at least like reposted some of their art. So cute. We should be in jail for holding signs and protesting against the police for their brutality. Huh? That's interesting that you think that. Dear Ted, riot is the language of the unheard and no one hears Portland. Hey Rebecca, I was just talking about you and your the gimbal that you bought for me at the fundraiser. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Hope you have a great day. It's lovely here in Portland and it's kind of hot. Maybe I'll see you soon. Peace, love, donuts. Hey, Kurt. Have a good one, everybody.